We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Hello and welcome to the Curling Stadium Martensville International here in Martensville, Saskatchewan. We have Team Wendling versus Team Kleiter, the second game for these two teams, third draw on this first day. My name is Marty Thompson. I'm joined by Chris Daw for this one. And Chris, we have two young teams, in the case of one very young and certainly hungry in this event. They have a couple more games left, and they lost their first for both.
Yeah, you can see both these teams very, very aggressive play going on here. They've got lots of rocks in play, both wanting to get up on that scoreboard early, get control of the game, and do a little pronunciation of what the skill sets are for themselves. I think this is just a little tap, if I saw it right. Yeah.
Looks like it's running red-yellow.
Nice shot. And I think they're lying maybe second there. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, it looks close for second for sure here for Team Kleiter. They are throwing the yellow stones, and they do have last rock advantage here in this first end.
Yeah, so right now they're making all sorts of decisions here. I like the first call to bring that red stone down on top of the yellow and just position themselves that can save an end or win the end pretty quickly. So I like that call. Top 8.
Perhaps a bit of tolerance, Chris. Anything along the path would likely work for them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't want it too far out. You need it in play, especially with that many yellow in play. And they're taking lots of ice, so we'll see where this ends up. It looks like it's got a good maybe 4.5 feet of curl. Pebble's not broken down yet, so it should still be pretty lively.
This is Daniel Loffer's first of two here. Daniel, a teenager of the Philadelphia Curling Club.
Well, the average age of this particular team is 21, so it's a young team. And they gotta hold the line. She's starting to move now, and I think that's a little lighter than what they wanted. Just by the guard. Oh, and that finished. We were talking about we get little jumps in our in our broadcast here, so that swang over quite well.
It certainly did. Right tight to that yellow guard there. And a bit of decision time here for Team Kleiter. What do you like from Rylan's perspective, considering they're looking to potentially score? Maybe even.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he shot stone. I mean, is he gonna risk reward here? He's gonna come down and take another look at it. Looks like he wants to maybe open it up. I don't know. It's early on, and it's an aggressive move to open it up, but he's certainly trying to limit the points if he's going to open it up. Is he going to come through the port? So the call here is, if he nicks either one, he's going to open it up a bit. If he, you can throw through the port, just increase your rotation, and that'll hold the line a little bit better. These guys are more than capable of throwing that type of weight and those types of turns. But I think they're going to open it up and move a little bit of stone up here. We'll see what their outcome is in about 2 seconds.
Seems like the tolerance is to get rid of either one of those guards in the front as well.
Yeah, by opening it up, it just allows them to be able to get to that red shot stone a little bit easier and play the tap-up game after these 2 stones in play.
This is looking close here for Team Kleiter.
He's past. Nope. Yeah, well, that's not a bad outcome. He's opened up the top, gives them a run at it. So we'll see whether or not they're going to replace the guard or just move up one of their red stones, promote the red stones into play a little bit more.
And Luffer's coming down here again from the hack to have a look. Just as
well, I thought I saw him drop the broom down there to draw on top, but I'm not sure what that would do for him right now. I mean, it's hard to tell. The top shot's away from us right now, so it's all a guessing game, of course, for us. I personally like this little bump up. Create some space between the stones, at which point in time they would, of course, move to shot stone. But he's got it's risk reward here. That's what this one's all about.
Yeah, as much as this tap red to yellow to red, as much as it may be something Kleiter would be interested in doing at some point in this end, you kind of have to take the opportunity to smudge one of your red stones at least higher up at the top 4, right? Like you have to get a rock in here before it's all cleared out.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's trying to do is come down on top of that yellow stone at the top the 4-foot there, in order to jostle around and position for later on. It's an awful lot of ice, and we'll see what the weight is like. Weight looks pretty good.
So a chance to protect this one lonely stone on the button for Team Wendling, looking for their first win of this spiel after losing the first one 8-4 to Sinet in the first draw.
So that's a good guard. I mean, it protects their shot stone. Again, just looking to open it up a bit. Or not. I don't always get the call. I thought he would want to open it a tiny bit on the promotion here. We'll see what he does.
This will be Josh Mattern's second stone maybe just come right down to the face. And you saw Rylan there just intimate that maybe you could have that red stone that's at the sort of just biting the top 8 come down and actually kick that yellow stone that's to the right of Rylan's arm as we see it on screen, and maybe even unlock that red.
Yeah, he's just got to watch any move that he has of jamming himself up. So that's good. You'll see the the other guys now come into the middle. I would do exactly that. Park right into the seat, makes it almost impossible to get it out, and we're getting down there into, I believe it's now second stone or first stone.
I believe we're getting. I believe this would be the skip stones here for Wendling.
Stones, yeah.
First of 2 here from Wesley. So yeah, just try to come in and just get a nice little roll underneath. It looks like that's the call.
Yeah, sit right on the button there. That jams up, making it a lot harder to remove the stone, and creating the jams all over the place. So I like this call.
First of 2 from Wendling as the 4-foot opens up for him on skip stones.
It's got a lot of weight on it, so looks like he's going to rattle the curtains a little bit here. So nice roll underneath. It's let's say about half open there, as long as you could get past the guard. There is a natural double there too.
Yeah. First call I think Kleiter was intimating was just trying to come on top of it and push that redstone back, knowing it will jam, or the double, like he's intimating there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we just sort of called that. There is a natural double there. It's all about precision now. As long as he hits the line, the double is there. Setting them up for a multiple. So it should be good. He's more than capable of it. I mean, we saw him throw a couple of good stones in the Briar, so time to redeem himself. This is what the skips get paid the big bucks for.
He certainly doesn't shy away from the aggressive shot here. First of 2 from Kleiter.
Not quite the outcome they wanted, but it'll do the job. Absolutely got to cover that one up. I think they're only, yeah, so they're sitting 1 and possibly 3.
I think it probably is 3. You're right, Riz. Now, can they come in there and jostle those yellows out?
Oh, I don't think they're lined up. It would be tough. I mean, if he hits the stone on the left, he could get it to pop over and take the yellow on the right side out. We'll see what he does, but they're coming the opposite way, so I think they're playing the safety. Not quite sure they saw that. They're going to just protect on the left-hand side of the sheet here. And then there is this, it would be a tough shot for Shot Rock, but I've seen a lot stranger things happen in my number of years playing.
Wendling's second and final here in this first end. The team out of Minnesota. Wendling originally from Wisconsin. A little heavier than they wanted it, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a little bump. Yeah, he's got to hit it on the inside. He's going to look to hit the red stone and then pop the other one back, have that front stone roll across, perhaps. Looks a little too full. That would be a tough shot.
Yeah.
He's
Certainly
looking
see
to
an
do
opportunity.
the raise triple. Yeah,
like you said, Chris, I've seen crazier things.
This one is an interesting call. I don't think they need to worry about the measure, but
well, is there a way that you could really, really hurt yourself if you did that?
Well, I've seen that too. Yeah, I think this raised takeout is the way that you hurt yourself. But playing the safety on this takeout, that's the call I would do. You just got to worry about whether or not that top red rolls across the face of the yellow stone on top. And I think that's what they're looking at in regards to the angles right now.
Of course, Matt Hall there in the house with Kleiter. He's, as I mentioned, the broadcaster in the Brier, kind of this big brother figure with this team, and came in just a little bit more experienced than the other three, and was really just trying to dial in their strategy. A team that was certainly aggressive for long stretches of games and just trying to find the right balance. And right here, I think they found the balance, as I think you really pointed out, Chris, just sort of safety it, like you said, just remove that red stone just by making contact, right?
Well, I think they're going for it. I mean, here we keep talking all the time in the simplest terms about risk reward. This is going to be an upweight shot. He's got to worry about whether or not that top red stone at the top of the forefoot is going to roll across the face of that yellow stones. So weights up
here in the first.
Looks pretty good. Maybe a bit wide. So one yellow for sure. And they're going to just come off with the one, I believe.
Yes, Rylan Kleiter with the 1 point here in the first. We will be right back from Martensville with the second.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorship.
The people have spoken, the votes are in, and the players are ready to rock. At curling's first ever All-Star event, live from April 15th and 16th, where 13 of the world's best men's and women's curlers face off for a star-studded celebrity pro-am, a unique skills competition, an all-star skin game you won't want to miss. Got a ticket to see you in Music City? Don't have one? Better hurry. They're going fast. The 25 TCG All-Star Game. Live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th. Let's rock.
We're back here for the second end in Martensville, Curling Stadium, Martensville International here in Saskatchewan. Marty Thompson and Chris Daw in with the call here, and Chris, we were just talking off the hop about how these two teams are quite aggressive, and we saw that end really get to a point where Wendling had decent control of the forefoot. Expecting another aggressive end here, likely with Wendling with the hammer.
Well, actually, the way that they're setting up the end is completely different than the last time. They're playing this conservative defensive thing. I mean, I'm going to stack the double guards here, standard play, and any curling end, corner guards gone up, double stack your centers, and see how it plays out. It's a completely different beginning of the end from the last end we saw, which was, you know, risk reward, very aggressive. And now, I mean, this is an aggressive start by stacking the two yellows up, and now he's just going to come around. So it's kind of like going back to old school curling to watch this end set up. Very, very different end.
Team Wendling with the little come around here, Basiri. Most of this team's out of the East Coast.
This looks like it's going to go a little bit deeper than he wanted. And yeah, this ends up back 12. So they'll come around those center guards and stack them up.
Yeah, Basiri, Lafur, Senzali, all out of Philadelphia, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Wendling's the one who's out of Minnesota, so they've certainly come a long way to come out to Martensville for this one. Matt Hall with the come around here for Team Kleiter.
Well, getting a little extra cheer in the background.
Somebody's at the door, I think.
Yeah, it's nice that we're able to do this remotely, but again, I do like the excitement of being in the rink and being able to call it and watch it as it goes. So that one didn't quite curl enough, so they'll clear out the top and see what they can get. So again, as I was mentioning, Marty, it's really quite a different end we can see playing out in this second end than anything else.
Nicholas Senzali with some upweight right down the alley. Then we'll get rid of that top guard. And Kleiter will put it right back.
They'll place it back up. Absolutely. So it's very unique. Maybe they were fielding each other out in the first end to see, you know, who had what in the bank, and now they just want to settle in for one or two ends before they get creative again. Not quite sure.
Just a reminder that we'll have games throughout the weekend here on Curling Stadium. The other games that are happening right now, you can just sort of see out of the corner of your screens. Jordan McDonald taking on Drew Height. We have Rylan Kleiter taking on, I believe that would be Wouterkuzen's out of the Netherlands. And Braden Calvert's taking on Chase Sinnott. Again, those games streaming, and we'll update you on scores when we get them.
So again, they're just going to take the rock out of play, make sure that they're setting themselves up for a scoring opportunity and the skip stone. So that's got a little more heat on it than the last one.
Oof.
Was hoping for two there, I think. Only got the one.
Awfully close to both.
So I think he's looking to just bump this yellow up just a tiny bit. So we're going to start to see the change in the strategy now. Starting to load it up and beat them to the punch, I guess is the way to say it. you see a very routine, or the routine for throwing. Every player has their own routine, which is exactly what they're doing. Got a little more turn on this one, so hoping to hold the line a little straighter. This is a little bit heavy, so it's going to bump it back. Not bad. Not bad. Took a lot off, and looks like a little bit of a flat spot at the top of the foot that came to screeching halt. What do you think?
Yeah, likely. Just a well-managed rock there from Trevor Johnson and Matt Hall. Able to get that into a decent spot. Now, coming up to Vice Stones here for Team Wendling and Daniel Lafleur. Trying to rip these again, eh?
I didn't quite see the call, so he peels that one out, giving himself a shot with his final stone. No, Vices. Sorry, I lost count.
No, it's not good. That was the first of the Vices stone. The skip. We haven't even got to the good part yet. Don't worry about it, Chris. You got a while left. Yeah.
I
No
know.
sweat. Don't skip ahead.
I got to count better. If I get my colors and numbers down, God knows what I could do in this game.
Josh Mattern putting that guard back up here for Team Kleiter. Now, the pinhole is showing on the other side. We've seen a decent amount of curl. If it did come to it, Wendling might have that round on the intern side to come right to the pin, but trying to open this up a little bit more, I think, before we get to that point, Chris.
Well, they're definitely going to come down that side this time. Nope, going to open it up. There we go.
Guard didn't quite get to where I think Team Kleiter wanted it.
I don't think it got anywhere near where they wanted it. I think they threw that a little short. But, it does protect that stone at top before, but didn't quite get over enough to take away this particular shot.
Big shot here for this U.S. team. And made the double.
So I think he's got to close off that left-hand side on the screen here. And I would offset almost, put it on the corner of the red stone at the top if I had my choice, because he can draw down that side. So maybe a half guard, or is he drawing down?
Just based on that little broom placement, I think they're looking to come right in, like come right beside that yellow.
Yep, park on top. That's another option.
And with this ice, I'm curious how much they're going to be cheating that 3 guard if they're wanting to get up to the face as much as they can. I think they could get there with that ice.
Yeah, lots of discussion at the back. Make sure that the sweepers know what they want. And particularly after that last throw was a little bit high. So up in the communication, which is great to see.
Skip stones here in the second end in Martensville.
I haven't been able to see Rylan throw very often. Does he often throw with that much rotation, or?
Yeah, typically. He's kind of got that little lean as well. This is a lot of rotation, though. I agree.
And quite heavy. That rotation just carried that rock. It's not in a bad position, but there's lots of other options behind Behind the tee line's not the greatest spot. I mean, it is second stone, so I mean, they buried it deep enough, but I think they're going to run for the double here.
Yeah, lined up really well. I wonder if you could just stick that red stone you're running back, and then considering where your shooter will go, you could have a red stone here parked top 4 and maybe even save that one in the back. We'll have to see. Certainly some tolerance for this Wendling side. First to 2 here from Skip Wesley. Lost a tight contest this morning, 5-4 against, sorry, my apologies, 8-4 against Snett.
Well, let's see where this one comes out. It's cross the face. He gets one and moves the other one a bit. Shooter stays into play, and of course, Yellowstone's wide open. So 2 red stones in there. They're second and third. Yellow now trying to make sure that they guard something or put the pressure on. I tend to want to curl behind that Wendling stone up top. That would really put the pressure on, forcing them almost to one.
Yeah, just seeing the broom placement there, I think that's the call. Just to come in behind. Similar line for the draw that Rylan just made as well. Yeah, they could come right in behind and, like you said, put the force on.
Again, I'm really surprised at the amount of rotation that he's got on the stones. It's not going to allow it to curl very much.
Just ready on the carve here to bring this over.
Got enough to get around. Really nice shot. Really nice. What do we know? We know nothing up here about how these stones are going to finish at the end of the day.
Yeah, what a well-managed stone there as well. They had room by the guard and just ready to carve it. It's in a really good spot, to be honest. Touching the pin as we got that close up there to show.
Yeah,
so pressure's
on now.
If there's anything that Team Kleiter's done so far is certainly put Wendling under a lot of pressure. You know, certainly would be in the game plan ahead of time, knowing these are certainly some young players, and maybe you want to sort of go after them and see how they react. And it's certainly gone that way, at least for this team out of Saskatchewan, the hometown team really here in Martensville.
Let's see, all the pressure on now to get on that button.
Maybe running a little wider than they want. Looks like we got lots of weight here too.
Yeah, it's gonna end up back. That's looks like a steal. A maybe cheat.
One for sure, and it looks like it might be just the one.
I don't know. I think it's the one, but it was awfully close to 2.
We'll check back here in the third.
Team Homan rocks. Team Moet rocks. But who rocks harder? On April 7th, we'll find out. Presented by Rio Mare, join us in Toronto at the Curling Group's first ever Battle of the Sexes, as world number 1 team Homan takes on world number 1 team Moet in a head-to-head charity curling skins game with a twist. 8 ends, 4 rule changes, and curling like you've never seen before. Watch it live on the Grand Slam of Curling website, app, and YouTube, with celebrity coaches and special guest appearances. The Curling Group's first ever Rio Mare Battle of the Sexes, April 7th, Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto. Get your tickets now at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Like, then you can overhear a player actually, because otherwise, like he says, it takes it off. But
Well, maybe the land early.
yeah.
Oh, looks like they left the stage.
Let's see here what this.
I wonder what I can do with that.
Let's try and stay ahead of what they're doing this end.
Okay, it looks like it was just the one. Okay. All right, another corner here for Wendling.
So same play as the last time. Throwing up the corner guard.
Just the one for Team Kleiter here in the second end. We're now in the third. And as you spotted there, Chris, Wendling going with that corner guard and Kleiter just looking to protect the middle.
So same strategy as last time, but boy, oh boy, was that awfully close to perhaps a steal in that last end. This one looks like it's got a little bit more weight than what they wanted on it. This one's going to be in top 8. Just on to 8.
Trevor Johnson there just a bit heavy on that. And Wendling with the chance to the hit and roll in behind here for Shabasuri. They're the lead.
He should be doing the hit and roll over. We'll see how much movement he gets on the stones. Here it comes. And he gets the double. He does. Nice throw.
That works too. The classic lead double. They happen. I have, fortunately, I've been blessed to hit one myself, and I got to say, it feels good. It feels good.
Oh, it's anytime the stones go your way, you're happy. You're happy as a skip. So this one will go away naturally as expected. And we'll see if it's a hit and stick or if he's going to roll off. Should
Matt
be a
Hall,
nose hit.
Yeah, just the nose hit here from Matt Hall, looking to get a little roll towards the center. And maybe all the way around.
Lively house.
Yeah, the rocks have certainly been lively. I think anyone who managed to catch the Scott Howard and Jordan McDonald game, that a couple really nice in-offs, and even Scott Howard had this nice kind of hit and roll and sort of a redirect off of a shot, and it tried to throw peel, and it essentially picked off a shot stone that he was trying to just nestle up against. Just sort of skated across the tee line at speed after directing off 2 rocks. So obviously it's fun to have a lot of young aggressive teams and have these rocks that'll play with them. Okay,
So
they
this
get a little roll on
is hit and stick, essentially. A little tiny open roll, but he'll make this one go away and roll over.
We mentioned there, I think It's the hit and roll over. Is that the call, Chris?
Well, he changed the call right at the last end. I think he's trying to get some play across the face of the red stone. So it's got a curl. Otherwise, he's just going to get the nose hit. Not even going to get over to the nose, but he does the job. He rolls the opposite way. So it's a slightly different, same call, just moved it to the opposite side.
I think we mentioned this off camera, Chris, but we were talking about this Kleiter team, 3-5 at the Brier, a debut for them as a team. But, you know, it's hard to say it was a disappointment considering it's your first Brier, but I think they really came in as this sort of dark horse favorite out of that pool, and it just didn't quite work out for them. I know they're certainly disappointed at the result, but, you know, they're definitely a team to watch moving forward for sure.
All teams there were really impressive at the Brier. You know, some excellent play. I used to curl out of the Newfoundland St. John's Club there with Brad. So I know Brad is definitely disappointed. So is Mark. But, you know, it's always nice to see a different face every once in a while. Hopefully Brad doesn't come over and say anything to me, but might give him a rest for reset. So here we go out in the wings. Nose hit. So it's interesting they're playing way out in the weeds here. This has to be a controlled by the sweepers in order to get behind that guard.
Stone now being delivered by the third, Daniel Laufer.
Yeah, and we were having a debate there about his age. Very young lad. Maybe 19, we're guessing?
Yeah, a teenager, I think, at 17, 18, 19, somewhere in that range.
So that's just on the rings?
I would certainly be shocked to see a player be younger than Daniel at this event. Could be wrong, of course, but...
Well, I mean, this is interesting. I mean, I totally understand the strategy behind this, but I haven't seen this many consecutive shots. He's almost standing on the other sheet here. We'll see if it comes up. Nice roll. Rolls open though. So a little something to curl into.
There's this Wendling team with U.S. Junior Nationals champions last year in 2024. That got them some funding and some backing. So really looking to push forward. And I believe the Junior Nationals are coming up here in a few weeks. So this is likely prep for them as they gear up to defend their title.
Yeah, gold in 2024 U21, bronze in 24 U18. Well, very, very young team. Lots to watch, especially out of U.S. curling. And there's another one of our jump shots. A nice nose hit to stay. So now we'll see what he's doing. Might be looking to hit and roll behind the red, maybe.
That's likely the call. The control weight or something, try to come across the face.
Yeah, I mean, Skipper's first stones here. So it's got to be to come across the face and roll in behind that cover.
Rylan Kleiter's first of 2 here in the third. He's manufactured a 2-0 lead here so far.
So this is another jump shot. I think that hit in the nose and just rolled to the center. Little slow-mo going on here. So I think this is going to be a hit and a stick, and then it'll be a hit and a stick and forcing the 1 on the end.
So the only score we really have to update you on is one that's on screen there. You see Scott Howard with a 2-1 lead over Wouter out of the Netherlands after that 2 spot in the first. We'll let you know when we get some more score updates in the other games. Again, Braden Calvert, Chase Sinnett, and Jordan McDonald and Drew Height playing in this draw.
So that rolls out. Still in play, but really not in play. So now you'll see him draw in and force the 1. He could also want to blank the end. That's another option. But I think he's going to force the end, which then Wendling will have to make a decision whether or not he wants to take the 1 or blank the end.
Would expect some precision here from Kleiter. They've seen enough of these inside out shots when they throw these corner guards. So seen the line enough coming this way. Really precision, but where they place this rock will be crucial. And like you said, ensuring that there's a force.
I'm gonna watch the rotation here. It's has he got the weight? I think they got to work it for the weight. The video feed is throwing me off a little bit here on the weight calls.
They're carving it over, and it looks like it will be not quite lined up, but pretty darn close here for Team Kleiter. Final stone coming up here for Wesley Wendling.
Just about quarter of a rock. If he hits this and rolls out, that's not a bad thing. That would blank the end. Retain the hammer going into 4. So that's an idea. We'll see how they execute on this. I mean, down 2 in the 4th with hammer, not bad. It's a good idea to blank the end, and in my opinion, that's how I'd play this end.
Looks like that's the call here, at least the attempt here from Wesley Wendling. Final stone here in the 3rd. Down 2-0, looking to retain the hammer. Moving into the 4th.
Or something else.
Or just take the point.
Well, I mean, the skip has to have confidence in what he's got to throw. So it looks like he's just going to draw for the 1 rather than risk. And in the first end, we always talked about risk reward. So he's more comfortable throwing the draw. So you got to believe what you're going to hit. So this is what he's going to do. And this is a younger team too. So, I mean, they're wanting to stay with this team and not let it get too far out of the way. And they'll get their 1.
Clutch little draw there from the skip. They do take their 1. Heading into the 4th, Rylan Kleiter will have hammer. We'll be right back from Martensville.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. TheRockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Get a couple here. Let's see.
Stronger agronomics.
You should be playing a little bit more aggressive.
Very turns.
That was a tell.
Greater peace of mind. Increase post-harvest. You can count on the victory canola of you and your farm ahead of the curve. Thus, at Victory Canola.
And welcome back to Martensville, Saskatchewan, and the Martensville International presented by Curling Stadium, Curling Zone. My name is Marty Thompson. Chris Daw is alongside me virtually for this one. And Chris, we were just sort of talking, expecting a little bit more aggressive play here from Kleiter, but they are just going to go right after this red stone that Wendling had dropped into the forefoot.
Sorry to interrupt you there. We were talking about how loud the other sheet is right now, which sometimes interrupts us. But yeah, this is a much more defensive end. So you can see Kleiter looks like he's going to try and put a little bit more pressure on. He did force Wes to take the 1 point. He had an opportunity to blank the end last end, and he opted for the draw, so that was a little bit change. And this one is coming in and is a beautiful draw right to the button, so you can expect this one to go away pretty quickly, I would think, Marty.
So just, I guess, are they just more or less tempting Kleiter to play aggressively, otherwise just kind of letting him clear these rocks out? That's by just
well, I think what they're going to try and do is just try and see who makes the mistake first, is what I used to call it when I was playing the game. And right now it's just hit. This one will stick around, so now that forces Wes to either make the decision to hit and stick, which is what going to be the call, little hit and roll, of course, or change. So it's just straight up and down. So this will be the third kind of strategy change that we've seen in this particular game so far.
So Wendling with the open hit. We mentioned the 2025 Junior National Championships in the U.S. April 1st to 6th, so right around the corner. Bowling Green Curling Club in Ohio. It's funny.
So here comes the hit and stick. You may want to get a little bit more of a roll on this, just, you know, upping the precision necessity. But at this level, these guys are precision hitters, so little control, down weight hit, and out it goes.
It's funny we talk about in Canada with the, you know, the top level teams having the odd player from, 2 or 3 provinces across or elsewhere. This Wendling team, you've got one player who's out of Cape Cod originally, actually, in Nicholas Sinazali, Shaw Basiri, Daniel Offer, both out of Philadelphia, and then you have Wesley Wendling out of, as I mentioned, originally out of Wisconsin, but also out of Minnesota. The diaspora, I guess, to a certain extent, of curlers and how they're spread out around the country there is almost more pronounced when especially when these young teams are trying to get together and trying to get the best high performers together. You end up with guys that really are just truly from across the country. You don't really get that.
Yeah, well, Matt Hall plays out of Kitchener, so I mean he's their distance player, and of course Trevor is originally from Edmonton, but the rest play in Saskatoon. So that's good. He's looking for it to curl just a bit more, wants it to come across, and he'll get it. So straight up and down play here. Nothing too fancy, nothing certainly risky at all. This may be the hit and the roll forward to start mounting maybe something to curl behind. And we would expect this with Vice's first stone.
Daniel Offer, as mentioned, likely the youngest player in this field here in Martensville. A stacked group, I'm sure everyone has seen already. Lots of good teams here in Martensville, considering the time of year. Of course, right after the Brier and the national championships here in Canada, but still lots of tune-ups to be had for, U.S. teams for sure, and also for teams destined for Worlds.
100%. So we'll this is just a straightforward hit and stick, and we'll see. We're just getting a little. Oh, lost the feed. Marty, do you still have the feed there?
I certainly do. It looks like they just have a little hit and roll, and Kleiter will have his stone just roll right out. So it will actually cring back in to be edge of 12. I guess on the intern side, as we're looking at it from the hack, and Wendling will get a chance here to get rid of this as well. Going inside out with this hit.
Well, thank you for covering. I went totally blank on my screen, so that's great. I love your call.
It's got to come over a little bit. Some decent sweeping there.
Flashing
Get
it?
that. Oof.
Almost flashed by that. So we'll see if this will mount to a blank end at all. We're certainly set up for it.
Yeah, tough inside out for sure, but a nice little carve there to get over and just kiss it enough. You really couldn't get that any less.
Yeah, that was a pretty close call. We gotta admit it was almost a little bit too out, but you gotta play on the right side of the rock. So he's gonna just challenge them to do pretty much the exact hit that he did if it sits down. Nope, it's going out the back. I think they wanted a little bit less weight on that to have that stick around and see if they were going to be able to do the same shot again on the opposite side.
Either way, forcing this team here to draw the stone in, as we do certainly look close to that blank, as you mentioned, Chris. But Kleiter happy to retain the hammer, I'm sure, heading into the fourth end, a potential break. As mentioned, both these teams lost their opening game. Kleiter lost a really close game, 5-4 against Calvert. Failed to convert on a hammer, but did steal a point. As we mentioned, earlier. Wesley Wendling losing 8-4 in the opening game against Sinet. Should be noted this is kind of an open round robin, so to speak. You're going to play your 4 games, and the team with the best record after those 4 games, or the 8 teams out of the best record, will make the playoffs. So there's no pools per se.
Well, this is an interesting play. It needs to bite. It's deep enough. So he's putting it out there. Another play he could have done is just have that sit a little bit more at the top of the house, but this is an easy hit. So we'll see if he hits and rolls out or if he sticks around. I think the team, Howard's team, is getting a little quieter. It's opening up a little bit more if we look at the score.
I think they just put up a 2 spot there in the third. You're bang on. Kleiter with that nice, easy hit and stick.
This will be my 30th year of curling for me, so relatively young from experience-wise, but fortunate to have represented the country at the elite end a couple of times in my career. So now it's, I would think he's going to hit and stick again.
I think so as well. Chris, you've only got 30 years under your belt. You still got more to give.
Well, I came to the game of wheelchair curling about 30 years ago, and lucky to hit the gold in 2006, a few world championships, and then I left the playing field in order to raise my family, and now I'm fortunate enough to be able to do some commentating and whatnot. Awfully close to returning a couple of times.
Never say never, eh? You keep people wanting more. You know, you don't want to just come back. You just let them tease. You know, or just keep teasing. You know, let them feel like you're coming back. Don't worry about that stuff. Anyways, final stone
we'll
here.
We'll see where this is. This should be a hit and a roll out to blank the end. And sure enough, that's what we get. So blank end on this one. So a little bit of a change in strategy on that one, but Kleiter hangs on to hammer going into 5.
Yeah, I think into the 5th end. We'll be right back from Martensville.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted.
Forever.
I'm glad you checked yourself saying a 30 is not a lot, because some people have certainly been there in this sport for a lot longer than you and still feel like they're new too. So,
well, I can actually chalk up to the fact that I've beaten both Glenn and Russ in curling. So I get that's the highlight of my career. So here we are, a repeat of last end, I guess. Hit. So we'll see how this one plays out.
We were just talking during the break there, Chris. You want to address just a bit of a change of strategy you noticed here as we approach the second half of this game here in Martensville.
Yeah, one of the things we saw in the first end was quite a bit of confidence out of Wes, and we're just seeing Wes maybe hesitate a little bit. His shoulders have dropped just a little bit from where they were, and his calls have definitely changed just a little bit. So we'll see if that's a natural tendency to him as the game goes on, or whether or not something else is going on here. Nice guard.
Yeah, deciding to put up that center there.
It's an interesting play. It's standard.
Kleiter with the chance to throw one inside out, end up around the tee line. This is Trevor Johnson, added to the team last year alongside Matt Hall, and certainly good additions to this team after taking home the SaskTel Tankard.
Yeah, he's a two-time Canadian U20 champion, bronze medalist in 2019 and 2020. So he's certainly got the skills. And now you'll see the aggression. It forces West to address a couple of stones. So he's going to draw in. And this is a bunny shot, as we used to call it. We really need this shot to be exactly where they call it.
Nicholas Senzali with the drawing behind. As you mentioned, precision certainly needed, and a well-managed stone. You saw Shabasiri hopping on that plow right away.
Got to curl. It's a little wide. It's going to be open.
Yeah, the snowplow technique from a sweeping perspective is super valuable, especially when you're playing a lot of events. And, you know, you want to kind of find a way to manage these rocks. But really the thing you need to watch out for is if you do it early, you're more often than not, you're really fundamentally you're sweeping the rock, even though you're just sort of putting a broom down. So you end up kind of pushing these rocks out a little bit further wide. Hard to tell, obviously, on stream whether or not Senzali sort of popped that one out or not, but it really did look like just by putting that broom down that little bit, they didn't get the finish they expected.
So this is an upright shot, holding the line, working the line pretty good, because it will tendency to curve around, and he's by. Nice shot. Excellent. So now the pressure's on, facing three.
That was such a good sweep here. This front end for Kleiter, I guess if you want to call Josh Matter a member of the front end, it's excellent to watch. Just the speed they have is second to none.
Yeah, I like the second part. The original call here by Wes was to come in and sit on top of the Yellowstone. Now he's switched the call to do a little bit of a hit and roll. I think it's a smarter call to do the little hit and roll. But remember, that curled quite a bit, and he doesn't look too happy with this. It's on the red. Boy, did that move a lot.
Oh, interesting. Corner frozen on the yellow. And Kleiter's looking to rip that guard. Is that what he's calling? Or the come on.
Peel?
Yeah.
I thought that's what he called, was a peel on the red stone. He is calling the peel on the red stone. drive it off that side, control the front of the house. It's a good call.
Just to kind of keep it open, knowing you'll be able to clear that red out, you mean? Or just
Well, he wants to keep control of the front of the house. If the red stone's there, he's not in control. So now he's still got control. So regardless of what they do, he still has an opportunity, a scoring opportunity. And with that red stone in play, it kind of limited a little bit anything that West was going to do. So it just gives him more opportunities in the last to be able to address anything that happens here. But again, going back and addressing this, we're seeing that really was the first miss that we've seen in the game so far.
Mm-hmm. Double opportunity here for Team Wesleyan, and they will hit it.
There's a flat double there. Yep. So he's just looking for the flat double. So he's got to get the angles right here, where he's going to hit the stone. And he's hoping to skip by the yellow stone at the back. I like the flat double.
It looks like good shape for them for sure.
Yeah, and wheelchair curling, there's no sweeping, so you've got to get it right out of your hand. And I absolutely would have given my left arm more often than not for a sweeper, much less two. So we'll see where we're at here. This is the flat double attempt. Looks good.
A little thin. Oh, they got it.
And got by. I think they were concerned a little bit about the jam or the takeout on that back yellow stone, but that was very well executed. So now what do you do, Marty?
Just keep trying this super thin double, I think.
That's a pretty far-reaching double. I mean, it's maybe there. I'd have to take a look at it, but that's a lot farther than the last one that was thrown.
You're in this position, you see it now so often. Just trying to move play over to the other one. You know, if you don't make it right, make sure that red stone is over there so they have a more difficult time getting rid of it. This is going to be a really nice roll. We'd like it to come back a bit. It won't. So yellow is still shot stone. This changes the complexion for sure, though.
Yeah, 100%. I think Rylan was looking for the hit and roll here. There's no threat of a jam. I mean, if they overthrow this stone or underthrow it, I mean, he's going to get the roll. He may take the yellow out, but I think there's no real threat of that.
Josh Mattern here. Throwing third stones for this team. Reigning Saskatchewan champions.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Somebody's home. So Kleiter with the chance for that little hit and roll here. Really dig it in. Can't afford to really touch this yellow too much, and they will not.
That was really well executed. My dog even enjoyed it. He's barking in the back, congratulating them on a really well thrown stone. So now he's got to hit the double, and maybe force the one.
Yeah, we've got the first of two skip stones here. Wendling, as you mentioned, they're looking for the double. If he doesn't hit it, where the shooter goes will be crucial.
Here it comes.
Trying to push this out, just trying to back it out. Are they going to get a piece?
They're going to get both, but it jams up and it rolls out. So here's an opportunity. I'm going to force them to draw. So split the house and force West to draw for one.
Rylan Kleiter, draw weights down for sure today. Lots of tolerance here to make this draw to the open side.
Here's that big rotation again. I think he's using it to take weight off. So the more rotation, you know, it's going to run straighter and then lose the energy a lot more. And I think that's what he's doing with that added rotation.
Great weight call from this front end too. I think they called it back tee. It did just not quite get to tee, but adjusted quite well right away. Yeah, you just hope to spill that redstone as far over as you can, Chris, and try to get something out of Kleiter on his last.
Well, it's as we all put it, this is where the skips get paid the big bucks. We saw him throw a couple of really nice draws early on in the game. So we know that he's, well, any skip at this level should be more than capable of it. But, you know, pressure to produce can change some tensions from here and there. And of course, he's hitting.
Looks awfully close to nose. And what we just
yeah,
noticed,
that's a different type of call. I may have looked to have drawn and freeze to one of the yellow stones, forcing forcing them to the one for the draw. But now he's got, it's, I would say, considerably easier to hit and stick for two.
Kleiter looking for this 3-point advantage if he managed to do exactly that. A nice down weight.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
So Kleiter takes 2 here in the 5th. We head into the 6th. Wendling with the hammer. Right back from Martensville.
The people have spoken, the votes are in, and the players are ready to rock. At curling's first ever All-Star event, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th, where 13 of the world's best men's and women's curlers face off for a star-studded celebrity pro-am, a unique skills competition, and an all-star skins game you won't want to miss. Got a ticket? We'll see you in Music City. Don't have one? Better hurry. They're going fast. The 2025 TCG All-Star Game, live from Nashville, April 15th and 16th. Let's rock.
Hi there, Jim Hale for S3 Air Systems. Today we're going to talk about their new product, UFO aeration. Here you can see the completed durable powder-coated steel frame construction and the large mega louver design that allows 4 times more airflow than traditional steel louver designs. Here I'm just bolting the stage halves together. You can see how the components lock together with just a counterclockwise twist for different aeration needs, where you can add and remove stages. Just remember that once there's grain in the bin, you can't change how many stages are in it. Please empty the bin before you change the number of stages.
Another, what are we, in the 6th then now?
Yeah.
Another 2 ends if we can. And we're back here. We'll see how this one plays out. Putting up the corner guard. Try and generate some points.
Yeah, Team Wendling looking to step on the gas a little bit here. They do have the hammer in 6 when you're playing 8, of course, which we're expected to here, that you're going to get that 2-to-1 hammer opportunity, but looking for those multiples to, as you mentioned,
The
start
key
generating
thing for
offense.
Wes to do right now is if Wes wants to stay in this game, Wes has got to get his 2. If he doesn't get his 2 or he gives up a steal, then he's in the dirt and gotta dig his way out. Now we've seen that lots of times before, but Steele being down by 4 in the 7th, playing 8 ends only, it would be a challenge. So here's the aggression. So he's got his corner guard up to generate his 2nd point. So now he's going after his 1st point. So we'll see how this one plays out. It's got a curl. Now it starts to go, so they're going to have to work the line a little bit. That needed to come over. That's wide open. So now it's all about protect your steal. So you can see Ryler, he's got the answers right away, where Wes seems to be searching for the call a little bit. It's just, as a skip, you're looking for these little things. And this is a well-thrown stone. It's a little light, but still well thrown. Now he can catch the outside edge. I mean, you've got probably, hard to tell from the camera, but maybe half a stone that you can hit on the outside and take the shot rock away. But he's searching now.
Team Wendling looking to generate a bit of offense like they did in that first game against Sinet. They did score a 3 spot, just lots of rocks up the middle of the center line.
So the debate is, we saw in the last end where Ryler cleared out those front stones, giving them an opportunity to score. And I think they need to do that because they are down. But here's that call I talked about, that half stone. Can he hit and dig it out? It's an interesting call. That's the quietest I've heard all the sheets. Everyone must be throwing.
I think Derek Samagalski just looked behind and was also shocked at the quietness. We don't want this to turn into the library just yet. There we go.
So they've got to manage the line really well. Keep it off that yellow stone. It's curling now. Are they by? They're by. They get, nope, just a little rub.
So a double tick there. And that is tough for Kleiter to try that little slash double, but it's worth it just to peel out that corner guard.
Well, I don't think it hurts them.
No.
Right? So he's gonna do the far double, tick just the outside of the stone, drive it across, and then he has full control of the house.
Matt Hall throwing second stones here for the reigning Saskatchewan champions here. It's got to be a real thin piece.
Oh. Well, you have your risk, you get your rewards. I mean, shot stone's wide open now. Here's an opportunity. I'd be looking to roll in behind cover.
Keep in mind, we're just still in the second stones here. Nicholas Senzali stepping into the hack. Still lots of end to play, but really hard to predict this one. It wouldn't surprise me if Wendling is able to sneak away with two.
They're really working the line. He threw that inside. So we'll see if they're aggressive to do the double raise takeout or just open it up. I think they're looking at the double raise takeout.
Yeah, some tolerance for sure. If you just peel them out, it's
not
no
bad,
big deal, right? Yeah. Keep in mind, Kleiter looks for the blank here, forcing Wendling to the blank. You know, you get rid of that two hammer advantage as well.
It's got to come across a little bit more. This is really well done. Nice shot.
Well done from Josh Mathurin there. Really good weight as well. Certainly up, but very controllable. A great sweep on the inside there by Trevor Johnson.
Yeah, they really needed to keep control of that stone so it didn't crawl too far across, and really well swept. Great call.
You just see how Johnson leans down on that broom and gets that speed.
So now the question is, we've seen a little bit of a flutter in Wendling. This is an interesting draw behind the guard. That's a very interesting call. I might have come in and done the little bit of the hit and roll behind. Ryler will just now follow that down. Oh no, gonna do the raise takeout again. I guess he just threw it, so why not?
Just asking for a little bit more ice on it.
That's because we know that it's moving late. We've seen the sweepers really work, manage the stone, waits up a little bit.
Yeah, Matt Hall there calls it before he even let go of the rock.
Gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. Yeah, it's not all bad. It's not the greatest thing, but it's not all bad.
Yeah, tough there. Matter just thinking needed that little bit extra line, threw it up likely a little bit, and yeah, it's tough, Chris. Like you said, you're kind of a little surprised that they want to throw again, but you're right. They just threw that shot, but then again, you can't really discount the level of difficulty. As much as you just threw it, if you made a 10 out of 10 shot, doing that again is always going to be difficult.
Yeah, so this is an interesting call. I mean, they're throwing way out to the outside of the sheet to draw in behind the top yellow guard. I'm not sure why they're not throwing from inside to out rather than outside to in. I mean, they must know something I'm not seeing. I mean, the pebble's a lot more. They've really got to work. The pebble is not going down very much out there, but they've really got to work it. Just under through that stone. And that's the result of the pebble being not as broken down as the paths in the middle.
Yeah, sadly, just the wrong tolerance. You're bang on. We haven't seen a whole lot of granite be thrown out to the wings on that, on an outside in. And yeah, just unfortunately for tolerance, because, you could have been anywhere in the paint, in theory, and it's a useful shot. So
yeah, and I think that's just a little bit of the inexperience, not remembering at this stage of the game that the pebble hasn't been worked that much. So that's why I would have preferred the inside out. I like the call to draw behind. I just think they took the wrong turn at it. So we'll see if he needs to work the line, because the center is anywhere from the 4 foot in is starting to take off a bit. Nice shot. Now the pressure's on.
as you can see here, Wendling with the hammer. So it looks like they're just going to do the cold draw across the center line, get underneath that guard.
Okay. It's it's their call. It's what they're comfortable with. Yeah.
If you make it and you're covered, there's a chance.
Well, you're the hero, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely the hero. He's probably looking to save the double for a second shot, trying to get something into scoring position so he can generate multiples of 2.
First of the skips 2 here from Wesley Wendling, 20-year-old.
Looked like he pushed it out there. You saw a little bit of his arm flutter out. Now you got to let the ice take it and let it curl a bit. So just watch them come down and bump that one back a bit.
Yeah, if you throw the right weight, it should be able to get right to the face of it and then really put the pressure on it. Because if you just come to the nose, Wendling would have to just draw right to the 4 foot or attempt to slash double. So really good opportunity here for Kleiter again to keep the pressure on.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than just pressure. I mean, there's an opportunity to kind of close the game a little bit. Not disagreeing with you, putting the pressure on is great, but you know, limiting him to being able to get one, and then you go in, as you explained earlier, with the hammer into 7, kind of starts to write the closing chapters of the game. Now, mind you, I should knock on wood because we've seen a lot weirder things happen.
We certainly have. Rylan Kleiter. Matt Hall on the line call.
So this is now going to take off. Watch this swing a bit. And now he's going to roll right across. Now he's going to draw to the pin. Got to get to the 4-foot, and you're going to he's going to have to watch it once it crosses the center line, because we've seen the rock take off. So all the pressure now is on Wes.
You're bang on too, especially with the sweepers. A rock that they'll need to manage as it comes up to that center line and beyond. Crucial as their skipper draws against 3 here in the 6th. Again, brooms down right away.
It looks a bit heavy.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Well, it looks like they're managing that rock quite well. It will just come right down. Again, once they take the broom off, you can see it died off really nice in the pebble. So make that 4-2. Rylan Kleiter with the lead. Wendling with the point in the 6th. And we'll be back with the 7th.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Curling Stadium, Martensville International. Chris Daw and Marty Thompson on the call with you for this one. Wendling versus Kleiter. Kleiter now up 4-2 in the 7th end. They have the hammer. And Chris, how are we seeing this 7th end shape up here? Truly for Wendling, because they need to be looking at, obviously a force of 1 would be good, but a steal would really put them in a good spot.
Well, I think a steal is what he really needs to go for here. If he gives up 2 or more, I mean, they can just run him out of rocks to a degree. We, you know, trying to get a play on this ice a little bit. And this stone is managed just to get by the guard and set up in a nice position. So he'll set it up at the top, trying to keep it going. Again, right now Ryler has he's in control, and he has the hammer in this end. I would almost try and force a blank end, but too many rocks in play for that at this point.
Team Kleiter, the #1 ranked Canadian team in this field, 20th in the world currently. So they won that Grand Slam Tier 2 championship, played in a couple of proper slams here.
So you see a lot of teams playing with their rotations a lot more than they ever used to, and that's great to have that in the bank to be able to draw on when you need.
Yeah, it's something surely that, people saw coming. I know even playing a few years ago, it's like, oh boy, I think that's the next innovation is determining and being able to properly manipulate that number. Of course, the more rotation generally, the better, ensuring a consistent draw path. But again, I think the spinner, if anything, is kind of an extreme example, just showing, what if you can manipulate your rotations to get somewhere that otherwise you wouldn't be able to.
Well, this one's a little underthrown.
And maybe not as much rotations as they wanted, right? It's all part of the equation.
Well, you see, that's the thing about rotation, is it does keep your stone straighter, which is great, but it can also eat the energy right out of the stone. And I think we saw that, right? We saw them essentially over-rotate the stone, which did keep it straighter, but then it absolutely took all the energy out of the stone. And now, I mean, what's the call? Do you peel it out? I like the call, peel it out. You're in the driver's seat. You have hammer. You have to be able to give yourself that opportunity to score multiples.
That's certainly sound reasoning.
Challenge that he has here is if he throws a down weight, sort of raised takeout on this, and he doesn't quite hit the angle right, then this red stone ends up jamming back. So he's got to get the angle right, and then of course the sweepers have to manage the stone as it comes down. And we've seen where, sometimes when you throw on the inside of that 4-foot line, the rock will take off, and sometimes it doesn't. So as long as they get the right line and manage the stone well, I think it's a decent call. You can see Ryler concerned about taking that shot stone out of play here.
Yeah. All 4 players here in discussion.
That's the call. They're going to look to do the raise.
Looks like they're throwing normal as well.
He wants to stay on the outside of the stone. He doesn't want it to cross the face.
Well, we've seen Matt Hall be quite precise with a couple of these hits already. Here comes his out turn. Got to get a sliver.
Maybe a little bit outside. Well, that works.
A great sweep there again.
So you've got a jam set up, but they're going to try and draw into the pocket here. And then if they successfully draw into the pocket, you can expect some type of play on the redstone that's in the 4-foot. But they've got to make sure that they get enough to get past not only the red guards, but also that top yellow.
It's coming right in there.
Is it hanging on them, or is it going to curl?
They were on it pretty early. Yeah. And makes an ugly stagger at the front as well.
Yeah, so watch them take the redstone out. There you go. I was about to jump down onto the ice myself.
Yeah, a nice little tidy hit and roll. Should put you in a really good spot.
Yeah, you can't leave that there. I mean, you have to address it now, because after that underthrown stone, you know that they're going to use it somehow.
So Matt Hall now with that intern. Hall himself with a really good chance here to swing momentum in Kleiter's favor.
This looks like it's curling, but it's going to come across. Got to let it go a little bit more, guys. There we go. Beautiful shot. So now they have to attack the yellow stone and do the split.
So they're seeing the tap back. What you're saying? Throw the yellow stone there, the one that's high, like in the top 8.
Yeah, the high one. If they throw at it and they hit it they hit it just. I don't know. I just forget. Erase what I was saying.
No, that is a possible hypothetical. I see what you mean. Just try to angle that yellow in towards the others and see if you can't spill them. The alternative I think that they've come up with is freezing on top of this other Yellowstone, right? Trying to sort of shrink
just
the
getting into the punch, but I mean they can't underthrow it, and I mean they're going to question this. And if you underthrow one stone, you tend to overthrow it a little bit the next time to make sure that it gets there. So is it got enough to get past the guard and curl? Last minute. Okay, so interesting to say the least.
You do shrink the scoring area, but almost separation off that Yellowstone. I mean, it might allow Kleiter to have kind of a slash on it eventually, right?
Yeah, it's there's lots of different opportunities here. Here's an upweight shot. Well, that changes the landscape a little bit.
A bit of a gift here.
This was heavy out of the hand, opens up the front. You're going to see Wendling now look to promote the red stone into the pocket and freeze it onto the yellow.
Yeah, such great movement on that peel. My goodness. And the corners, too, are a nice treat. If Wendling ever decides to rip things out, you know, you could end up having some corners to work with.
I'm not sure what the call is here. I missed the call.
It's like maybe with the weight there, I think as you kind of initially had pointed out, maybe just sort of tapping back that red, or maybe they're throwing a bit of weight at this top yellow.
They're throwing weight at the yellow in the 8. Okay, I don't know if that's a good shot or what they wanted, but I would come on the inside of the red at the top, the 4 foot, virtually closing the deal on the end. Just get into that little pocket between the red and the yellow.
Good for Rylan and Josh to really talk through this real hinge point in the game. As you said, you could really end up closing things out.
I think that's, oh, he's going to throw board weight at this.
Yeah, I think the idea is you don't need to move that red stone too far. The key is just to get to the inside.
It's an upweight shot. Is he past the guard? Yep. Nice. Took that away early. Now there's still a bit of a pocket for them to come down into, and you can see that.
Too late to really kind of run that red.
That's exactly what I was going to call. I mean, there is this big risk-reward thing. How much weight can you throw? I mean, there is a triple there, but that's got to be a lot of weight. And depending on what happens, and this may be the last end for them. One wants one wants the other. The triple's there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that they're maybe opting for this come right into the pocket, like you said. Maybe there's a little bit of tolerance to it as well if you end up tapping that yellow stone that's on just the side of the pin. You know, maybe you're still in a good spot. There's maybe a bit more tolerance to this, where if you do run this back and you miss, you know, Kleiter maybe puts up another one and then you're really screwed.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting call. This is a very precise shot. It's a setup for his second stone. He's got to get into the pocket here.
Precision needed for sure here on Wendling's first of 2. I think they're calling extra weight right away.
It's a girl.
Senzali on the carve here, brought it over enough. Now it's a lot of weight. Are they going to get a bump back? They
so
do.
Now you're going to see Ryler just come down and bump that stone back. It's perfectly lined up to get out. If he loses the yellow at the back of the house, that's in full 8. It's not horrible. He's still lying 3, which then forces West to do another cold draw and get full button. There's a lot of risk on what they're saying. What they're dealing with is looking at hitting the red onto the yellow and jamming out, which would open up the front. But they're going to go for the straight. Straight. All right. Place your bets.
Yeah, straight certainly makes sense. It's maybe something as well, obviously, with Wendling wondering if he would be comfortable throwing a big weight hit at the end if they were lined up. So maybe this tempting him a bit.
First I might want a little tiny bit more ice. So we talked about losing the rock at the back of the 8, which is exactly what happened. And now they'll draw in for 1. They're forced to draw in for 1. I don't think they can get 2 here.
I believe Kleiter has the last rock, though, so they'll be trying to defend here by putting 1 in.
Yeah, it's... I'm not exactly sure how they could generate a second stone. And they've, again, with the way that it's finishing, they've just got to be careful of that yellow stone at the top of the forefoot.
Crucial draw here for Team Wendling. Their second of 4 games. Tomorrow they have Howard and Height. Final stone here from the skipper.
So he flicked his elbow a little bit there. Let's see what happens. It's running straight on him.
A little bit more weight than they thought.
Yeah, I said that he had flicked his arm just a little bit there. So now he can follow that all the way down and get 3.
Yeah, I think
straight draw with backing.
This line should be, a little bit on the wider side with Kleiter's extra rotation. Obviously the rock with extra rotation is a little easier to sweep to, a little easier to drag. So you're bang on. If it's down this line, it's a little bit wider, they can just sort of steer that in. And as you mentioned, they only really need to nudge that stone that was just thrown a few inches to get 3.
Absolutely. And I think that might call an end to this game. It all comes down to this. There's the rotation. It's in the sweeper's hands now. It's way out there, though.
Gonna wait a bit before the carve. A little late on the carve. How will this land?
2. Just the 2.
Sits in the 2 for Kleiter, make this 6-2 in the 7th. Looks like we're going to an 8th end here in Martensville.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
What'd you say?
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel, because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
It'll be a straight up down.
Welcome back here to Martensville. The Martensville International Curling Stadium coverage. Thank you so much for tuning in, by the way. We really appreciate folks watching from around the world here. Into Saskatchewan in this 16-team event. As mentioned, both these teams with losses this morning, looking to bounce back in the afternoon. They will both play tomorrow at 8 a.m. local time. We'll have Team Rylan Kleiter taking on Gozens. I believe I have the call of that game, so I'll see you then. And Wesley Wendling will be taking on Scott Howard. So another big game for them against some top Canadian competition here north of the border.
So now we're going to see them just take this stone out. This is simple, trying to run them out of rocks and run them out of scoring opportunities, which is just standard. And this one's wide open.
So, Chris, what's some learning opportunities here for Team Wendling as they move through this event? Sort of taking this game a bit as a learning lesson for sure.
Don't make mistakes.
The sport certainly would be easy if that was the case.
Well, the big thing is I think they're carrying the one mistake all the way through the game. They made a mistake. It was a simple miss that they've carried throughout the remainder of the game, and you've really got to let that one mistake go and not affect the rest of the game. And we just saw that confidence in the shoulders of Wes drop out after that mistake a little bit. And I think that's the learning part here.
Nick Senzali. I mean, it's tough when you're 20, lots of travel too. As mentioned, these players are, from 3 different states, respectively. Trying to get those reps against that really stiff competition. There's many different factors that come into play in this game. It certainly is a sport that's played between the ears.
100%. And right now, you're just going to see them peel that top guard out, and that's going to start to get her done here pretty soon. You'll just see the hit game, and it doesn't mean a lot of exciting curling, but it is enjoyable to watch a team that's executed as well as Ryler's team has throughout the game. Really be able to get the rewards at the end, and every team has to have a winner, and unfortunately a second place. And I think that's what we're going to see here this afternoon. Well, it's evening now, is it not?
Depends where you're calling from. Yeah, for Kleiter's team as well, I thought they performed quite well. You're bang on, very few misses. They managed their rocks really well. I thought played within the tolerance, and at the end of the day, Wendling ended up with a couple of those rocks that came up short in the 6th and 7th end, likely when everything started to slow down, and Kleiter didn't get caught by that.
Yeah, it's as you mentioned. I mean, it's execution tolerance, right? I mean, you cannot. We see very few curlers curl 100%, but as long as they're on the right side of the execution tolerance, they're going to be able to be successful. And I think that's just the difference between these two teams right now. You've got some young blood out there looking to make a name for themselves, and then you've got a team that's just come off of what they may not see as successful, but when you make it to the Brier and you're playing at those elite levels and you do as well as they did out of their first run at it, it's going to speak miles for you.
Yeah, and they were certainly no slouch, even though, again, that 3-5 record, shot 85%, which was, better than even Nova Scotia, who ended up getting into the playoffs on the whole, statistics-wise. They had their moments in that competition for sure.
We'll see that team hit the Brier again for sure.
Oh, we definitely will. I mean, with Saskatchewan, McEwen certainly being around, but there will be lots of growth in this team.
So you saw him say, which one do you want to go after? Which turn do you prefer? So now they're playing to their strengths. You can go after either one. You've got to. Would be a little bit of a risk if you wanted to go for the double. I mean, it's a flat double there again, but this is a great hit and roll, and that actually will put a little bit of pressure.
As mentioned, we have games here available on Curling Stadium throughout the weekend. Our next draw is coming up here just later this evening. Justin Kalthoff taking on J-Boom Lee, Kevin Cooey, Ethan Sampson, Corey Dropkins, Sam Muibrooke, Steve Lakoff, and Bruce Corty, all in action.
It's a showcase. All very talented players.
So I guess just trying to come right down to this stone, hoping we'll potentially get a flash, see what kind of execution they get on that nice back 8 weight. And Cinzelli switching to carve there, and they will come up just a little bit short. So need to get rid of just one more stone to ice this game here for Kleiter. And waste no time with the kick out. The drive.
Looks pretty good.
And might even just get rid of 2 just for fun.
Just not quite, but yeah, absolutely saw it. So that's an excellent game. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And work with you again sometime in the future, I hope, Marty.
Absolutely, Chris. This is a pleasure. So for Chris, myself, and everyone here at Curling Stadium, thank you so much for tuning in. We got games all weekend. Be sure to tune in. Thank you so much.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster. Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Band has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.